Hi everybody, and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. This is just going to be a hopefully quick video on different types of pad. I caused a little bit of controversy recently when I was asked why I didn't have any pads from a specific maker, and I stated that I did not purchase anything from this maker because she was a reseller of essentially cheap Chinese products, otherwise known as Chinese cheapies, and I got kind of emailed a little bit about it, kind of asking how do you, how did you justify saying that, and how did you justify doing that? I had just kind of stated what the truth was. I didn't buy any of the range because they're essentially made, they're imported from China and then resold. So I'm not, mentioning this maker because I like her work and I like her YouTube channel, and I think a lot of what she does is really, really positive in the community. And it wasn't a criticism against this particular person. She's running a legitimate business. It was just a personal preference of mine. So consequently, I'm just kind of going to clarify my purchasing choices and a little bit of the subtle differences in what goes on. Okay, so there's really three different types of cloth pad makers, and essentially there are wear makers, which is working at home mothers, which is where these four come from. There are professional companies, and those professional companies are companies like Pad here, and this is a Korean company. There should be a review up on my video on my channel of Pad. And then the third type are these Chinese cheapies, and I did have two different Chinese cheapies in previous videos that I've discussed. Those two have currently been destashed to a friend of mine who didn't have any cloth pads at all, and these two were from I had like four. I'd only used two in those videos, so these are direct from a factory in China. So these both cost $1.98 to come from China to Australia delivered. So and this is how they come, just in a postage bag. You open up the postage bag and this is what comes out. Pads, you can either get them in shops packaged very similarly to this. I'm in Perth. There is a shop in a suburb called Kalamunda which sells a Perth wear maker called Paisley Pads, and I noticed in Brisbane and Queensland there is another maker called Her Rhythm, which is now selling pads in a local shop, and they all have kind of similar type of box packaging as Pads as well. Obviously different colour pattern and style, but this is how you quite often will see them in a shop, like this, in this little box, and it says on the front the size and the quantity. So the differences are that these are made by a person in somebody's home. This is from a maker called Odds and Zombies. This is an exposed core. As you can see, the core is sewn onto the back. This is a moderate, so this is cotton topped and backed, as you can tell, and it has a hidden bamboo core. This one is this type of shaped pad, as you can tell. These two are 8 inches, even though they look a little bit different because they're shaped differently. And this is a cotton knit top, and this is a corduroy backed by Go With Your Flow. Go With Your Flow sells on Etsy. Odds and Zombies doesn't sell anymore, or I can't at least find anything that she has sold since, but I did purchase this from her shop on Etsy. On eBay. This is from an American maker called Bearfly or Loony Love. She's Loony Love on Etsy and Bearfly on Instagram. And this is a cotton knit top, and this is a WinPro backed. So this is WinPro fleece backed, which is a highly waterproof back, and it's in a serged type of print, as you can tell. This one's from a UK maker called Muff Dusters. It's cotton knit topped and PUL backed. This is one that's got muff dusters on the wings. It is one of the few ones that I still have backed in PUL, because I find PUL still moves around in the underwear a little bit too much. But it has this awesome Wonder Woman print. So you can get a lot of variety in WAM makers, and you can get a lot of variety in the shape and style that you want, and that is more suitable to you. These Chinese makers come now. These generally have, apart from Odds and Zombies, which I must have closed down, I actually purchased the last of the stock off the shop on eBay, but you know, the rest of the people have websites, have Instagrams. You can see photos of their sewing rooms. You can see photos of their sewing machines, their serges. You can email them and ask them questions and find out more information. So the customer service based in this is that you know where your product is coming from. These people have names and lives and are using, you know, this as a side income. What I'll do is I'll link below the video from Flow of the Goddess. She did a very great video on essentially what we call China cheapies, and she tried her best to find out about the factories and to find out about the situation of the workers and how much they were getting paid, and she contacted several wholesalers, and this went on for quite a few months. She found one which had even a photo of the factory, and when she actually said, "Oh, can I come out and inspect the factory?" they said, "Yep, sure, no problem." And then she said, "Oh, so will my pads be coming from this factory?" And the wholesaler went, "No, we can't guarantee that any of the pads will come from this wholesaler. They could come from a variety of sources, including this factory." So these are all a pretty standard shape. They come more in a traditional, I guess, looking pad, whereas these guys are not particularly traditional looking in comparison to other shapes and styles of pads that you would traditionally see. They more look like this. These are PUL backed. I have gone over this in a video before, but I find this too slippery and sliding in my underwear. You know, they're constantly moving back or moving too far forward, or they just won't sit in your underwear. To be honest, the best backer I've ever found is corduroy. This ain't moving. As you can see, it comes in a very cute print. And this is a really, really adorable print. And depending on when, you know, one of my New Year's resolutions was to have this YouTube channel for 2019. I did a bunch of reviews of the cloth pads that I currently have in December 2018, so that what I could do is then in December 2019 is essentially review all of my products again. And I suppose if I have enough views or viewers or subscribers, I may continue on after 2019. But, you know, it was just one of my resolutions this year was to get YouTube channel going. So as you can see, they're very cute. This is the other Chinese cheapie, but they are cheap. You know, this costs this costs $4 to get both of these pads to my from China to Australia. So if you have an ultra budget, actually I think it goes that way, might be easier that way. If you have a very restrictive budget and, you know, don't want to be spending money every month on menstrual products, you know, these can come in quite handy, because you can buy, you know, this was $4, this was under $4, this was probably $3.80 to get both of these delivered. So, you know, that in and of itself is far more cost effective than buying disposables. However, you know, you don't know where these came from, you're not sure of the factory or conditions of the workers in there. These also have a very much shorter lifetime, so these with care should last between 5 to 10 years. And I did question like that when I first kind of started, to be honest, but you know, you're only wearing these for a couple of hours a month. In comparison to, say, your clothing or your other underwear or your clothes, is that really you're just wearing, you know, one of these for a couple of hours a month. So that's why they do tend to, and with proper care and maintenance, then, you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't last a couple of years. But these ones are, like, you know, 5+ years, 10 years, 5 to 10 years, whereas these will last, even with good care, probably, you know, 3 to 4 years. So, you know, it is kind of almost one of those things of you do get what you pay for. However, if you're on a limited income, you know, for $20 you could get a significant amount of these, at least a daily to a, you know, a stash that may last you, you know, a day and a half, where you can wash these, dry these and use these, you know, so you're not spending that limited income on disposables, or if you've seen my video on period poverty, using other products like socks or shirts or leaves or moss or dirt. So, you know, there is possibly a place for these in our situation. A lot of companies then, a lot of people then resell these. So a lot of people then purchase these and then sell them in their own shops in their own countries, and you know, for a marked up price. They also come in like a square. The other range that comes in is like a square range. Also with these wholesalers of these pads, obviously it didn't really come for an option for these, because these cost, you know, you can get a tag, your tag of your company sewn on here. I've also seen them sewn on the wing. So these are cam snapped as well. And so this is also another one which has this, so this back snaps around your underwear, and then you can bleed into this bamboo. They call it bamboo, but if you watch the Flow of the Goddess video, this is mainly polyester. So it's kind of, PUL is also a synthetic fibre. So you're essentially, this is kind of essentially a synthetic-y type pad as well. I would definitely recommend watching her video, just because she does a really good job at researching and doing it. So these are medium. These are both medium. Obviously come off the same pattern, but there's no guarantee that either one of these were made at the same company or at the same factory. So this is the other one that you can get, is these Chinese cheapy style. The third group is these Hanapad, which is a South Korean company. They come in these types of boxes. You can watch my review on this Hanapad if you would like. And it's actually this Hanapad, I only have the one. So they come packaged in this recycled biodegradable box. It comes with these instructions on the back. This is organic cotton. This backer is not PUL, it's laminated cotton. It comes with cam snaps. So this is how it comes out of the box. And it has these cam snaps, and if you open them up, it comes with your little Hanapad tag and the sizing here, and then it unfurls as per normal. You may not be able to see this on camera, but it's like an off-white colour, and this is because it's unbleached cotton. So obviously they've processed the cotton to actually have it into this fabric. The core is also organic cotton, and it is backed in laminated cotton. If you follow Hanapad has a website which is hanapad.com. The Australian one has a .au on the end, and you can follow them on Instagram as well. They will show you pictures of their website. They have video tours of their factory. They have a lot of options for you to actually have a look, investigate, and see how the conditions of the workers, how their workers get paid, and their promotion of both labour equity and laws. So the advantage of even buying from a company such as Hanapad is that their promotion of ethical components as well. So you're not getting that guarantee with these types of Chinese cheapies. So this is generally a mother at home that is sewing on the side. This is a company, but you can actually contact them. You can follow them on social media, and you can find out and see photos of their factories and their working conditions and their labourers. With these ones, you cannot. They essentially kind of hide their practices and their techniques. So that's essentially the three main differences. So I hope this clears it kind of up for the people who kind of freaked out a little bit, that's why I purchase from WAMS predominantly, and mainly I only have this one Hanapad. If you watch my Hanapad review, I go over that whole story, and that's why I only have essentially these are the last two China cheapies, and I essentially only keep these for doing videos for you guys. Outside of that, if you have any further questions, ask below or contact me, and watch the Flow of the Goddesses video for further details as to why I have issues with these types of makers and pads, and therefore do not purchase them from either direct from the factory or from resellers. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. This is basically a response video. I did mention in one of my other videos that I didn't have any cloth pads from a particular maker, and it was because she was a reseller. So she resold Chinese cheapies, and so therefore I didn't purchase any, because if I was going to purchase them, I can purchase them directly from a Chinese manufacturer or a Chinese wholesaler and get them for substantially cheaper, and more from the wholesaler. Also, that reduced my environmental impact by not sending something from China to the UK then back to Australia, when it can come straight from China to here. And so I kind of copped a bit of criticism, just because this particular person is quite popular here on YouTube, and is actually in fact one of the YouTubers that I do watch myself. And so kind of, it's not necessarily a response to the criticism, because I obviously am making choices that are appropriate for me and my environmental beliefs, but this is really about the 3 different types of kind of manufacturing of cloth pads. My personal preference is for these. These are wear makers, so all of these